lap without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
It's the longest straightaway in North American racing. And here tonight at the Tricky Triangle, it's week number 16. It's past the halfway point of the regular season, and drivers with around 9 races left are trying to find their way into the playoffs. Live here tonight for the Chapman Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. Here we go for another one, presented by the American Armor 200. American Armor Museum, of course, not popping up on my screen. I said I was ready tonight. We're going to get that fixed right now. Alex Gagnon, Bradley Cooper up here in the booth with you. We've been bringing you coverage all season long, and this one no different. There it is, the Museum of American Armor at Pocono. The Tricky Triangle. Alex, it's 3 different corners, 3 different approaches. You're not going to be perfect around this place in all 3. You just got to find your 2 sweet spots and make the best of the worst one.
Yeah, very well known here with Pocono. Each corner modeled off of a different racetrack. One corner modeled after a turn in Indy, one off the Milwaukee Mile, and one off of the now defunct Trenton Speedway. Each of these corners run so differently from one another, and to your point, at best you can get 2 of them handled. It's coming up on your screen now, a 2.5 mile over, one of the biggest racetracks stateside that you're going to find, but not a ton of banking, which means heavy on the brakes a lot here tonight, and the collisions can be hot and heavy if you're not careful, because you can definitely overcook the brakes here, going from about 180, 190 down to below 100 miles an hour.
And taking a look at the points, Jeremy Burns still with a commanding lead, 6 wins on the season. Travis Gilbert stealing away that top spot in qualifying at the last minute. He's 2 wins in the season and about 100 points back. It's about 90 points separate the top 2. And then you see how tight it is after you get out of the top 5. some of these drivers that are winless this season looking to lock themselves in, and Justice Murphy at the tail end of that top 10. But overall, it's kind of been a dominant performance from Jeremy Burns. He's done well in the trucks. He's done really well here in the Cup.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's going to look to try to get another one here tonight. But, Pocono, one of those tracks where you find a lot of surprise winners. Fuel mileage definitely becoming a factor at Pocono more than most other racetracks, just for the sheer size of it. Should be really fun to see how this one plays out.
And the race analysis up on your screen. 80 laps here tonight. Pit road speed limit at 55 miles per hour. 5 tire sets will be available. Stage at lap 13 with 2 green-white checkers. And, of course, on that iRacing fixed setup. With that, though, it's time to take you trackside. Get the grid up on your screen. And starting on that top spot, we just mentioned it a moment ago, it's going to be Travis Gilbert in the number 22. He took over the pole in the last about 30 seconds of qualifying. Congratulations to him on his Coastal Financial Pole Award. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Rest of the grid coming up on the screen, and it was a 53.436 over Jeremy Burns. Beat him by 0.03 of a second to take that top spot, but that'll be row number 1. Row number 2 goes to Dakota Floyd Tyler Harrison starting in 4th. 5th goes to Nick Alves with Alex Forget Berube in the 19 starting 6th. Row number 4 with Carter Lenz and Parker Johnston. And rounding out your top 10, row number 5 with John Fike, the 4-time champion Rob Rader.
Looking at row number 6 here, Kevin Orlando Jr. will line up alongside Michael Call. Michael Reed and Jacob Sirkovich will make up row number 7. 15th here this evening will be the 8 of Brandon Richardson alongside the 14 of Michael Bennett. Caleb Gilbert and Justin Ritchie will make up row number 9, with Grant Turner and Grant Thorpe going to be comprising your top 20 running positions here going to the green.
And more cars to talk about here. His 21st spot goes to Al Likens. Dylan Picklesheimer will start at 22nd as they round off turn number 2. Trevor Erhardt and Daniel Holloway, 23rd and 24th. 25th goes to Trevor Keith. Justice Murphy in the 12 will start back at 26. We're starting to get into drivers that are a little bit off here on the speed, on the pace. We're talking about almost a full second back here to Christopher Schaefer, Matt Robinson. Then it's Joe Gioia, the last to take a time. Kyle Diaz rounding out your field. So with that last-minute qualifying effort from Travis Gilbert, he has 2 wins this season. He's a driver that can get it done, but on the longest front straightaway, I hope you have a beverage in your hand. Can you finish it before they make it to turn 1? Here we go, live from Pocono, week 17. Green flag is out for the Chapman Cup Series. Already trouble.
Someone, yeah, oh boy.
John
and it was
Fike.
collecting more cars.
Somehow John Fike did not collect more cars, but that was a close one. He went all the way to the apron, up through the grass, into turn 1.
Let's take a look here. It did not take long for trouble to strike here at the Tricky Triangle. Take a look, John Fike there, 5th car on the inside, just got tangled up with Kevin Orlando Jr. there. Slides back up the racetrack, somehow does not collect anybody. The only other car I saw with any kind of contact there was the 55 of Justin Ritchie. I think he got tagged by Caleb Gilbert just slightly, but we'll take one more look at that from that initial angle there, Bradley. It looked like the 27 jumped out to make a pass, and the 65 may have went down for a late block.
Yeah, I think Caleb Gilbert just kind of came up the racetrack to avoid that incident, got into the 55. But a good save there from Justin Ritchie. Unfortunately for John Fike, it's front-end damage after he slides up into the outside wall. And it was Kevin Orlando Jr. I think, had contact with him. So already we're kind of off to a rocky start.
Yeah, I'm just hearing over the team radios a little bit. Sounds like the contact there between Caleb Gilbert and Justin Ritchie was very much just a snap instinct trying to get out of the way of the 65. And honestly, I think both of them will take the outcome that they got versus getting caught up with Fike there as he came back up the racetrack because he was sliding up with a full head of steam. So no real damage there for Ritchie or Caleb Gilbert. But solo car spin here. I guess solo car incident as far as who went around. Not really a spin of his own volition, but tough way to start this one for the field. You have all those nerves going through practice, qualifying, the warm-up before the session. You finally get dialed in. You know it's going to be a long race tonight, and you don't even hit turn one before you're back down the pacing. That really does throw off the mentals, I think, a little bit for some of these drivers. You know, all that anticipation, now you got to re-ramp it up for another restart here.
And this track burns a lot of fuel, going around 2.5 miles. It takes an eternity of around a minute and a half to get around this place at pace speed, 75 miles per hour. Seems like an eternity for most of these guys. And it kind of doesn't relax you because you start to feel like more intensity as that stage creeps closer. You're running out of time to make up these positions, and the distance traveled kind of exacerbates that whole situation, makes it worse for all these drivers. As we continue to pace around Pocono, you're going to start to get tunnel vision.
Yeah, for sure. 75 miles an hour is one of the fastest pacing speeds you'll find here in this series, and yet a track of this size, it is absolutely an eternity. And you just feel like you're sitting out there burning daylight. Not a whole lot of real changes in that lead group. Wasn't enough time to. I mean, they all hit the gas. They got to turn one, and before you knew it, we were stacked up again. So another opportunity here for these guys to try to sort this one out. Light should be going off on the pace car this time around. And we'll re-rack it and try it again.
Front row has not changed with Travis Gilbert, Jeremy Burns. Going to be side by side. Choose cone for the 22. He'll elect to take the outside this time. iRacing, of course, putting him on the inside for the start of this race. But once you hit that restart zone, you are the command car. You can go anytime within that mark. Travis Gilbert got off to a good start on the initial one, held on to the lead, but we barely were able to drive 3/4 of a mile into turn one. And again, it's the longest front straightaway in North America. The draft is also a factor at this racetrack. It's really a factor on all three of these straightaways. But the front stretch, it is so important to stay with these guys. And you'll see kind of what we saw at Indianapolis, where these drivers will kind of snake around the racetrack and try to break that draft. It's kind of the hybrid between a road course and a super speedway.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a fascinating blend. This track also notoriously difficult to pass at, regardless of the gen of car that you've put on here. Just a track that unless you don't, you have to get a good run off of turn one or off of turn three to try to make a pass here. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck. And I think that'll be interesting to watch as this plays out. Track position going to be so critical. You can only get about 20 laps on fuel, though, so once you get that track position, pit strategy is going to be super important tonight to find ways to hold on to it cycle after cycle. There's going to be a lot of mental calculating happening behind the wheel at 190 miles an hour.
Pace car going to pull off for the second time. We were able to make it about 2,000 feet. Let's see what we got this time around. With Travis Gilbert into the restart zone, back underway. We'll put the ticker up on the screen and show that huge jump there from the 22 going into one.
Well, they got into turn 1 clean, a new record for distance traveled off the restart, as you see them just roar off of turn 1 down this back straightaway. Travis Gilbert's got the lead. Burns, Harrison, and Floyd going to tuck in behind them. And they are still 2 and 3 wide going through turn 2 here. Would not recommend that. It is a very tight corner exit if you're not careful running side by side.
That's the tunnel turn that we talk about. The bumps there getting worse every single year, and with the rescan, the art update, and a lot that's changed here at Pocono, it's going to be more and more difficult to get through that corner as this track ages. 3 wide, not the answer. A lot of these drivers will back out of that situation. Gonna live to fight another day. A blinking issue here for Travis Gilbert as Jeremy Burns tries to chase him down.
Yeah, the one good thing for Travis Gilbert right now, he is free and clear of the field, and there is also no one in front of him that he'll need to worry about. So if he is blinking, at least there's no one immediately around him that could be disrupting. So we jump on board here with Jeremy Burns, currently running second. In good position right now, qualified there. He's been running in, was able to hold off Harrison and Floyd, and you know, Gilbert and Burns were the fastest in qualifying. Burns also was one of the fastest in practice today, along with Dakota Floyd. They were the top 2 cars in practice time, so curious to see how this will play out. We know the 22 is some of the best short run speed of any driver in this series. However, will there be enough time for a real long run to develop with how short the fuel window is because of how long this track is?
Car in the wall right there. I think that was Rob Rader. He moved to the outside of Carter Lynn's, got around him, but tags the wall out of turn 1. Now going into the tunnel turn, all over the back bumper of Dakota Floyd, the 57. Also one of the faster cars in practice. It looks like with race pace, struggling a little bit here. Didn't get the best exit that you could see out of that tunnel turn. We peak 3 wide as Harrison and Floyd go side by side for third.
4 cars shifting down the front straightaway. Floyd trying to take a peek to the inside of Harrison. Not going to make a move there going into turn 1. Looks like Linz and Forget a little deeper in the pack. They're side by side. Here comes Rob Rader aggressively down to the apron. Really drove it in there. Pulled right alongside Floyd, and then the 57 just put the hammer down on corner exit. Reestablished himself in that 4th position. That is something that we've seen so often from Rob Rader. Something that he's so good at is really diving it in on corner entry.
Oh, right in front of Turner.
That's Trevor Keith, who got put up in the wall there. Oh, and now he's spinning big time. Diaz around as well. Caution's out. And Trevor Keith ends up in the access road. Boy, we jumped right on board there with Grant Turner. And that was right behind where everything unfolded. Once again, the gift of prophecy strikes the V-Speed booth here, Bradley.
Yeah, I don't do this on purpose, but you see down there, Picklesheimer gets down on the apron, and that upset the handling of the car, that transition. Man,
trying to figure out how he spun so hard back off the wall. He was kind of just up in it, and then he spins back down in front of Holloway. And then somehow Kyle Diaz also gets caught up in this, but we'll take one more look here. Picklesheimer making a move here to the inside of 2 is where this really gets going. You see just how much he sent it in there. Yeah, gets down on the apron, bounces off him, and into the fence.
It's a 21, I think, that got into him there, yeah.
Yeah, Holloway had nowhere to go. And somehow, that's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out yet, is how Diaz goes around. We'll jump on board here with Daniel Holloway. And you can see that spin happens in front of him. He gets up toward the wall. Everything looks good, and then bam, last second. Down he goes into the access road.
So I guess
we got a second here. It's a long pace lap. Can we see what happened to Diaz as well? Because none of these angles have shown what's happened to the 26 yet, I feel like. I'll be honest, I still have no idea what happened to the 26.
It's the forensics not matching up here. Let's try a blimp camera.
So see, he's running here in front of John Fike, and Diaz very well gets down below the line here to get out of the way of this.
Got loose.
And he just gets loose re-entering the racing line. Wow. Well, that's a tough break for Diaz. I mean, was able to avoid the spin, but then just the simple act of merging back into traffic gets him loose, gets him up into the wall. Number of cars coming down pit road here. A lot of these guys were caught up in that incident, but a couple of them were not. Kevin Orlando Jr. going to make a stop. You see John Fike down there as well. It's like Al Likens with a brief stop for fuel. And this was just outside of that stage window. If there's a caution within 5 laps of the stage, it will count as a stage, but the stage tonight is scheduled for lap 15. This caution coming out just before lap 10, so they will restart for a super brief dash to the line to settle the stage winner.
So we will rejoin double file in just a moment. The lights will go out on the pace car this time around. Again, this is a minute 44 to pace around this racetrack, so hopefully for our sanity and the driver's sanity, we don't see too many cautions here tonight, because it's gonna play a toll. It'll lengthen this race out, and your fuel numbers constantly in play. That's why you saw some of these cars that maybe weren't directly involved in that, but lost positions because of this incident on lap number 8. They're going to come in and top off with fuel. You never know when this race could go green, and it's so long to pace around here. You're most likely not going to lose a lap, even if you come down pit road under green.
I mean, yeah, lap times here up over 50 seconds. It's a long pit road, but you really should be able, if you're pitting especially from the front of the field, you'll absolutely be staying on the lead lap. See one more taker there. That was Picklesheimer, who dove back to pit lane here, the tail end of the field.
It's about 40 seconds down the lane for most of these cars, with topping off with fuel. And if you have some damage, like the 35 of Picklesheimer picked up there at the beginning of this race and got the tail end of it there on that last incident, I think you're going to be okay to get this repaired. It's plenty of time around this track. It's almost up to 2 minutes with the entire field doubled back up now. Gilbert and Burns still control the top 2 spots. Floyd, Harrison. The top 4 has not changed hands much at all. Then you have Rob Rader, who's gained 5 spots. He's up to 5th position from 10th. He is on the move. Let's see if Rader can get up there into the top 3 before this stage is over with. I have to say, Alex, it's no particular driver standing out to me right now. If we get a long green flag run, I think for the 53 and the 9, they're going to chase down on the 22, but it's so difficult to pass here. When you watch there Tuesday night, if you thought it was hard to pass at Gateway, this place is even worse. You get that draft, but as soon as you hit that corner, it's so flat here, the dirty air, you're going from 190 plus down to around 140 miles per hour for these turns. It is difficult to keep it behind somebody.
Here we go again. Maybe this time is the answer.
Back underway. Already seen him slice and dice down the front stretch. The 22 of Gilbert takes the bottom. Jumps back up in front. 2x2 into turn 1.
Everybody trying to sort out for position here. It's a very short run to the stage. Only about 3 laps. Everyone going to go for it here, especially. Oh, smoke's coming up. Schaefer's in the wall.
And
more spinning.
Problems.
And the caution's out, and we're 4 wide through turn 2. More cars spinning. Yeah, no wonder that wasn't going to work out. And that will count as your stage officially. So Travis Gilbert will be scored the stage winner, and all he had to do was make sure he didn't money shift it on the restarts.
Yeah, we've I think under speed or at speed, drove maybe 5 laps.
That might be
total.
optimistic.
The distance traveled at speed, 5 laps. That's what I'm giving him.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be the case. We got a half a straightaway, then about 3-4 laps, and about a lap there. Yeah, not great, but I'm sure all of the cars in the field will use this opportunity to come down pit road, get sure they get some fuel in the car, and try to get ready to go here for the longer stretch of this race. Travis Gilbert, your stage winner. Burns, Harrison, Floyd, and Rader, your top 5. Linz, Alves, Forget, Ritchie, and Reed, all getting stage points as well. Has not been a lot of time for too many big movers through the field, but in that top 10, very notably, Rob Rader from 10th to 5th, and Justin Ritchie from 18th to 9th. Very, very good on the restart so far tonight is that 55 machine.
So Ritchie working the strategy there, and V-Speed's very own Morgan Cook working with him at the beginning of this race, talking about how they would get around this tricky racetrack. So far, so good for the 55. It's been pretty good for Dakota Floyd as well, as he has maintained his top 5 starting spot. Tyler Harrison up 1 position to 3rd. We're going to pull it down pit road. This is where you could gain or lose some spots. You have to be careful here. Some of these guys that had brought it down pit road just a moment ago, they might stay out. Here we go for pit stops. First time today. Pretty much the entire field going to come down.
This could be a very critical opportunity to get some needed track position here. You know, we've seen it's been tough to stay at pace. It's been tough to pass when we have been up to speed. Very, very prime opportunity. A good stop here could get you that track position you need. Coming out of the stage break.
It's like a top off with fuel for the guys in the back. 55 going to stay on his original set. He's going to gain a couple more spots. He'll work his way up to the top 5. And Jeremy Burns, looks like a speeding penalty for the 9. He's held in the box.
Absolutely brutal. He'll drop from 2nd to the tail end of the field. That pit stop timer telling the story. He's not the only one on pit road, but he's the only one from the top 20 who's still there, I believe.
Well, he's got a little bit of right front damage as well. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I'm not sure where he picked that up. See if I can find a better angle of this. There is some damage on that right front.
Yeah, that right front fender just pushed in a little bit. See Trevor Erhardt pulling away. Kevin Orlando Jr. had to return to pit road. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Let's see if we can find. I want to know where this 9 car picked this up. He's already got the damage before they come into pit. Was this because of something that happened checking up, maybe for a caution? I don't think we're going to really find an answer. Somewhere along those lines, though, he did pick it up. He's still on pit road getting repairs done. But stage number 1 has concluded. We have more coverage to continue here on V-Speed. You are watching the Chapman Cup Series. More coverage at Pocono right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is
Back here live at Pocono, Michael Call takes over the lead. John Fike, Caleb Gilbert, the top three.
Oh boy, Michael Call's having some connect. Oh, Fike's around.
Again,
Caleb Gilbert got into him.
He saves it this time. He's
Kept it off the wall.
two.
Oh man, John Fike cannot catch a break here going into turn one tonight. They are 2-3 wide. They've got to get this sorted out going into turn two. We're seeing a lot of cars struggle through here, even just running side by side. Jump up here. This is the battle for 10th between Forget and Alves. Michael Call, meanwhile, gapping the field right now. Really opened it up over Caleb Gilbert and Dakota Floyd. Some new faces up in this lead group. There's Floyd and Rader going to battle for third. Got Al Likens then there in fifth as well. He's looking for more. Oh boy, big dive to the inside there from Richie. He's going to get to the apron. He's trying to find his way around Likens, but he got really tight coming off the corner. And here comes Travis Gilbert to capitalize.
22 to the inside coming out of turn one. We'll have the 15 just behind him there of Trevor Keith. Trevor Keith in that pit barrel yellow machine. And KSX Graphics sponsoring the pit barrels here. Guess it's the time to throw their graphic up. Nobody's hit them yet here today. But we'll take a look here at this number 15 on board with them.
On board here with Trevor Keith, trying to rebound after a tough finish last week at Sonoma, where he got into the wall early in that one and was just trying to nurse that thing around the rest of the way. Here he is, though, looking to the inside of Justin Ritchie for 7th. He's alongside, about halfway here. Is he going to stay there into turn 2, or is he going to back out just a little bit? Looks like he'll take the latter. 55 holding on to that spot. Here comes Forget on the high side. This battle continues.
So it's Trevor Keith that we talk about with the driver camera, and he just looks like a guy that likes to party. As you're seeing the party up this front stretch, Michael Call doing everything he can, dancing down the longest straightaway on this schedule. Rob Rader's going to find his way to the inside, though. Doesn't matter. He tried to break the draft. It's not enough, and he'll stay to his door down the backstretch.
Yeah, Raider in prime opportunity here, although it's a very shallow entry into turn 2 from here. See, they're going to try to sort this thing out. This is where Call would have the advantage. He'll hold on to the lead for now. And that's why it's so critical to be able to make the pass going into 2. Because that outside car...
Caution's out.
Caution's out. This fell at a prime time for Michael Call and some of the other cars who had stayed out. Trying to figure out what happened.
Michael Reed receiving a
Kyle
meatball flag.
Yeah, Michael Reed's out. Looks like Kyle Diaz. I'm hearing some chatter over the radio. Maybe he got a piece of this as well. Oh boy, look at how slow the 91 was going through the corner there. That looked really odd.
Looks like an
I
equipment
wonder if
malfunction.
That's what I was thinking, because he just kind of straight line equipment off, it looked like. Jump on board here.
Had no throttle at all. No input.
No. And still doesn't.
His brake works.
Yeah, I wonder if something happened to the throttle pedal there for the 91 and it just didn't reapply whenever he was trying to get through turn 2. Because he entered the corner fine and then just never got going, and no wonder the radio from the 26 was, I couldn't expect that. I mean, yeah, how could you? Look at how close how quick the closing rate was there. And I mean, for better or for worse, I mean, not much Diaz can do there, as Reed was quite literally in the middle of the racetrack when that happened.
Well, another
That is
caution
gonna
here
be-
with Michael Collin leading it. We're going to bluff down pit road. Everyone behind.
Whoa! Everyone not named Michael Call going to make that jump. Boy, if I'm the 89, I'm thinking about I may have made the wrong decision here. I mean, that is quite literally the entire field, it looks like, from Rob Rader on back.
Do we see any fuel-only stops here? Maybe some right sides only? Track position so important. Down and away here for the 55 of Richie. Looks like 2 tires for him. 57 also on the same call.
Some quick stops there from those two. Parker Johnston looks like a pretty quick stop for the 48 as well. A lot of cars coming off of pit road now. Very notably, 4 tires and fuel for both Tyler Harrison and Jeremy Burns. I think at this point they're trying to play the long game. They don't have any track position. I think they're just hoping to be able to run down some of these folks under green flag conditions if that ever presents itself.
Well, we're going to take another quick break here. Michael Call, Travis Gilbert, and Al Likens, the top 3 when we go back green. Again, you are watching the Chapman Cup Series live on V-Speed. The Museum of American Armor 200 at Pocono. More coverage right after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs, Tennessee Pest and Termite Control.
Back here live for the Museum of American Armor at Pocono, located in Bethpage, New York. And our goal is to bring the sights and sounds of American history to a new generation and thereby pay tribute to those who defended our freedoms. We're going to talk there with Kevin Orlando on where he works and what they actually do there. Is pretty cool. There's over 40 operational military vehicles, mostly World War II. and it's volunteer work. They drive things, fix things, and he says it's great as we get ready to go back green here at Pocono. Tell you, they drive things and fix things here at Racing Revolution. They've had some problems already. Quite a few cars already involved in incident, and this track is seeming to breed cautions as we go 4 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, and they wonder why this race is breeding cautions. You see now 4 wide in turn 1. Everyone jockeying for position here on the restart.
Peter in the wall.
More cars in the wall.
He's saving
Oh,
it.
it puts Johnston in the fence. Oh, big contact for the 53. Huge contact for the 48. That left front's not moving on Parker Johnston's machine. However, we stay green because this is all now being settled behind the field, which is an unbelievably tough break for Rob Rader and for Parker Johnston.
See if we can dial up a replay and we make it into another corner. Michael Call.
And meanwhile, Michael Call, yeah, he's trying to, lead the dragon, break the draft, and nobody went with him. Everyone just trying to do straight line speed here. That's the thing with Pocono. Everyone talks about how long that front straightaway is. I don't think a lot of people talk about the fact that at all points of it, it is about 7 lanes wide.
Well, it gets really narrow right here off the exit of turn 1, and Rob Rader found that out. He hits the wall twice, across the nose, hits the 48. Hard impact to the wall for Parker Johnston.
I'd actually argue that not only did Johnston get the worst of that, I think by a significant margin. Rob Rader's car definitely will have damage, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to keep driving that thing. Parker Johnston's day very well may be done after this. Take a look at this. Just bam! Breaks that left front toe link, and that thing is destroyed.
And on board here with the 53 real quick while you have a moment. He was on the outside 4 wide, getting around the 11 of Robinson. He got that pass cleared, but didn't clear the wall. And this is where he bounces into the 48. Watch this. He almost hits this access road.
Oh, man. Wheeling it to try to keep it off the inside wall. That was close. Speaking of close, Michael Call doing everything he can to try to hold on to this lead right now. He has been breaking the draft on every straightaway he can. Trying to hold off Travis Gilbert, the pole sitter. Then you got Brandon Richardson, who's already got a win. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season. Right now, currently sitting in that 3rd spot, just behind the 22.
Not so much breaking the draft this time around. We saw Call dive all the way to the inside earlier. It seems like he's a little bit more confident. It's impressed me what he's done staying out here. We thought, well, maybe that was a bad call to stay out.
I see.
So far, it's working.
Right now, the 89 holding on to it, although the 22 got a great run off of turn 1. He might think about stepping out here into turn 2. Thought about it. Elected against it, but that hesitation is going to bring Brandon Richardson right into the mix as well. Here comes the 3-car tango in the turn 3, trying to figure out the race leader here at Pocono. Gilbert goes high, Richardson follows, Call down to the apron.
And Call's going to bring it into pits.
Tell you what, though, I like that call from the 89. Gets himself a couple of laps led here, gets off cycle with the field, and with the way this race has gone, that could be the magic ticket, depending on how this thing plays out.
When you're seeing a lot of flipping in the top 10 with Brandon Richardson, Justin Ritchie, Al Likens all up more than 10 positions from the start of this race. You can see it there on the left-hand side of your screen. Those are the guys in the top 5 did not start here. They didn't even start in the top 10. With Likens gaining 17 positions, he is the biggest mover of the race right now. 16 gained for Carter Lenz. Trevor Erhardt also up 16 as well, back in 7th. A lot moving around here. Trevor Keith also in that bubble of 16 positions gained. So most of this top 10 did not start here.
No, they did not, and that is the joy of a race like Pocono, the opportunity to really shuffle things up as this thing goes along. One thing that is not shuffled, though, is who's up at the front. Travis Gilbert put it on pole. He's back to the lead here and starting to stretch that gap over Richardson. That clean air doing wonders for the 22 right now. This field getting a little strung out, you know, about 5.5 seconds. Now going back there, you see the Diaz and Caleb Gilbert. Jeremy Burns just shoving Grant Turner, trying to get him clear of Joe Joya. It's going to get a little tight right here. Joya, of course, rocking the Museum of American Armor machine today as the caution's out for the 6th time here tonight. I have no idea where. And it might be Christopher Schaefer.
Punches the apron in one, sideways, and into the outside wall for the 23.
I think what shocks me is that through the yellow there, typically it waits for a car to be making its way through the racing. I guess he was there for a moment, and yeah, here comes Rob Ray. Oh, boy. That was almost way worse. Take a look here at Rob Rader. You know, he was caught up in that earlier incident that didn't bring out a yellow. Fell about 20 seconds behind the field. Can't imagine what was going through his mind seeing this. Yeesh.
We can imagine it all we want. We just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. I hope you had a censor button. It would just be beep.
We got Travis Gilbert still holding on to that top spot. Brandon Richardson, Justin Ritchie, the top three. It's been a rough day for some of these drivers that have had a lot of success here in the Cup Series. And Chapman Environmental has put on 5 seasons that we're aware of. 4-time champion Rob Rader in 25th. Your driver that's been runner-up a few times here, Jeremy Burns, back in 22nd. Looks like it's Travis Gilbert's day to shine, the way it's sitting right now. But don't count these guys out just yet. There's plenty of cautions here to get these cars repaired as we start to bluff again on pit road. A lot of cars coming in to top off the fuel.
A lot of cars weaving, going in and off the pit road. Looks about to be half the field went in, the other half stayed out. And we're just seeing this this field and the fuel strategy starting to get shuffled all over the place. And I'll be honest, it is very tough to keep an eye on where everybody is on that fuel strategy. Most notably right now, the leaders came down pit road. Travis Gilbert, Brandon Richardson, both on pit lane. Here comes Grant Thorpe down and away. He actually will win that race off of pit road ahead of the 22. Kevin Orlando, I believe, up there with Bennett, Linz, and Travis Gilbert, your top 5 off of pit road. A lot of cars stayed out. It's going to be a big change to this running order.
I will hand the lead over to the 55 Cheetos Ford Mustang. Justin Ritchie started in 18th, is now 17 spots up, and will be the command car when we double back up Alex Forget Berube and Dakota Floyd in this top 3. And we have a moment here to dial up one of these drivers, so I think it's a moment that we bring up Trevor Erhardt in the number 41. He's gained 19 positions. He's one of the biggest movers of this race so far, if we can find Trevor Erhardt.
It would be in Rolling Thunder.
So some of these guys, here we go. Found him. Trevor Erhardt, Bradley Cooper, and Alex Gagnon. It looks like I can't move him.
Yeah, that channel appeers to be locked, so no one in, no one out.
Oh,
I think we'll have to pick a different...
All right, Trevor. If you ever wonder why we don't pull you in for a mid-race interview, now you know.
Well, the field's going to split too wide here. Yeah, we could maybe try someone on the front row here. We could try Forget or Ritchie. Let's see if we can dial up Justin Ritchie real quick.
Justin
Hey
Ritchie.
there, Justin Ritchie.
Got a copy?
Got a copy.
It's kind of falling into your lap. I know you were talking about strategy at the beginning of this race. You guys were working out all the statistics, the schematics, and how you would do this. Looks like it's paying off so far.
Yeah, so far so good. I've gotten lucky a couple times, had some narrow misses, but yeah, the fuel strategy is going to be a very interesting storyline to follow this race. So we'll see how the cautions fall, if there are any more, and what's to come.
Well, I can tell you what's to come. You're approaching that halfway point, and if you thought this race was intense already, wait till we get to that bottom half. I know some of these guys kind of just sending it into these corners blindly, hoping that it sticks. But for you, you've been able to avoid most of that. You picked up 17 positions to get up here.
Yeah. Like I said, there's been some chaos that I've luckily gotten around. And right now, I feel track position is king. So we will see how this restart goes.
Well, good luck there, Justin. Doubled back up. You are the command car on the outside of Alex Forget. See if that Cheetos machine can hold on to the lead.
Yes, sir. We can hope.
Justin Ritchie, top spot. Again, 17 positions gained, 20 spots gained for Trevor Erhardt, and was kind of the guy I wanted to talk to. It's only one other driver that's beating him, and it's his teammate, Matt Robinson. But neither one of those drivers can be moved out of the booth or into the studio as we go back. Green flag racing. Alex Forget, not a great restart there on the inside. Outside line has a gap back to it as well. Justin Ritchie into turn one has a pretty good shot at holding this lead.
And it looks like he'll slide down in front of the 19. Justin Ritchie to the point here at Pocono on lap 32. Floyd going to settle in front of Erhardt as they go roaring down this back straightaway. The front 5 or 6 starting to get single file. A lot more side-by-side action, getting a little further back. Nick Alves, Matt Robinson for 7th. Little side-by-side battle through turn 2. They go roaring through there. These restarts, the best time to try to make up ground, but also the most dangerous when everyone's stacked on top of each other.
Hardest corners to be side by side with someone as we come down the front stretch. With that turn 3 exit, we've actually seen turn 1 be the most dramatic here so far. 33 laps into this race, 32 completed, and several different leaders. It was stage 1 to Travis Gilbert, but Gilbert coming down pit road, he falls all the way back past, as we have a 77 of Thorpe in the background.
He got into a wrestling match there with Justice Murphy, and both of them almost lost out. They went way down the hill. Now battling each other here just ahead of Dylan Picklesheim. We'll take one more look at this. This is Grant Thorpe, Justice Murphy. Big move, big block, pushed him all the way down toward the apron. That let the 35 get right into the mix.
There's Ritchie trying to hold the lead, breaking the draft. He still has help there from the 57 as they move back up to the outside for the entry of turn 1. There's the Dragon's Tail we were talking about, all over the front straightaway. Ritchie holds on into the entry. Alex Forget getting a good run off here, though.
Yeah, carried a lot of speed, but I think had to check up just a tad. Coming off the corner, he was getting real close to that wall, costing just enough momentum to not really get that run that he had through the middle of the corner. Well, has a really nice run through turn 2. Forget is going to be there. Going to take a peek to the inside of Ritchie here into 3. Great work there from the 19 to set this opportunity up in turn 3. Is he going to be able to complete the pass, though? This is where it gets tricky. That inside car can't run off to the wall, and this long front straightaway, every bit of that counts. Ritchie going to hold on to it for now. Forget had almost set it up beautifully, was just not able to slide in front of him, and Ritchie holds on at least for another lap.
Forget going back on offense down this backstretch out of turn 1. Going to pull a side draft off of the 55. Try to set up this tunnel turn for an advantage. How far does he want to send it? It's far enough. And the 55 will fall back to second. Now has the 57 of Dakota Floyd for P2. And how about this? John Fike back into the top 5. 65 looking for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, how about that? Indeed, he has had a less than pleasant evening, to say the least. However, he has persevered and put himself in an incredible position here. He takes 3rd place away now from Dakota Floyd. And he's on the attack trying to reel in Justin Ritchie. What a drive so far for the 65. Got spun on the opening lap. Got spun again on turn 1 at the end of the stage. And yet has put himself in a spot here to be running in the podium position just before the halfway point.
Top 10 single file out. You have to go all the way back here with Michael Call and Jacob Sirkovich to find any side-by-side. Grant Thorpe has worked his way around some of these drivers he was on offense with earlier. The 12 of Justice Murphy way up ahead of that, though. You think back to that block, it was very aggressive there off of turn 1, but Murphy kept the 77 at bay.
And not only did he keep him at bay, it ended up shuffling Thorpe a little deeper into the pack here, where he's battling with guys like Linz and Sirkovich, just a couple spots behind him. It looks like we're starting to see all the nervous, the restarts here at Pocono starting to fade just a little bit. Now that they've gotten a couple of green flag laps in, cars, and at least in that top 10, starting to single file out a little bit as everyone has found their little bit of real estate. Cars in the back half of the field here still doing a little side-by-side battling. And this is just going to be costing them more time to that group in front of them. As you see Thorpe trying to hold on, slides in there in front of Linz, found the gap, and slides in behind Harrison. And now at this point, it's a matter about running clean, consistent laps and taking advantage when the car in front of you makes a misstep. You see Travis Gilbert doing just that, going to swing past Kevin Orlando here. And then off of turn 3, that 22, back up to 16th.
Look back to the inside, though, for the 27 of Kevin Orlando. He will get to the door down this front stretch. Vet to track 22. Holds on to it, almost gets some contact into the entry at turn 1. Kevin Orlando on board with him.
On board here with the 27, another one of the Museum of American Armor cars, trying to get around the pole sitter. They go through turn 2, didn't lose any time, didn't really gain any time. And this is that part of the run here at Pocono where you just kind of get stuck a little bit, and just as I say, drove it in there on Travis Gilbert. Gets alongside, almost into the fence there was the 22, and they'll be door to door across the start-finish line. No draft support though for the 27 means he will fall back behind him, and he'll have to settle back to 17th for now.
Alex Forget takes over the lead. Justin Ritchie has fallen back to 3rd. John Fike chasing down. Last time by a little bit faster than your leader. His lap time's on your screen now. There's Fike with his telemetry on the bottom of the screen. It was a 53.348, 0.2 faster than Alex Forget. Fike looking bad fast. Something must have reset in that car when it hit the outside wall.
Yeah, no kidding. Fike is absolutely flying right now. Tell you what, another car that's actually really quick is also Michael Call that last lap. 53.2, same speed as race leader Alex Forget. Nick Alves also in that 53.2 range. So a couple of cars making some headway here as you see Call has gotten back up to the tail end of this top 10. And now Call maybe going to try to look on the outside here of Picklesheimer. Turn 1, the one corner I'd argue that it is maybe tougher to make a pass on the outside than the inside, unlike the other 2 corners of this racetrack. But Call gets it to go. He's up to 10th.
Top 10 for the 89. And remember, he had stayed out, led some laps here today. He was able to get 13 of them. So he makes his chug back towards the lead. As Justice Murphy in 9th, right about this time, he's going to get the draft. And it's full effect. Doesn't step out. He's going to use this momentum into turn 1. Nick Alves just in front of him. On the outside, he's making it work.
Taking another look. Yeah, tell you what, those fresh tires that he got right before that last caution doing wonders. Because it cost him no time on track position because of the caution. He's in a better spot than a lot of these leaders who stayed out. And you see he's starting to pick off the field here. He's up to 8th. He's going to try to look at Alves. Alves, though, one of those cars who's also been wicked fast here deeper into the run. So I would not be surprised if instead of the 89 getting around the 22, you just see the two of them start to pick off cars in front of him. Call tried going to the high side again. Alves didn't really give it to him. Got a great run, though, off of 3. He's right on his back bumper. Does he go high, or does he try to dive to the inside here?
Been making the high side work. This time around, though, a little bit different. He'll get the run, but where does he go with it?
Alves to the inside, potentially, of Robinson. Opens the door high for Call here in 2. And Call's going to slide on past him. Up to P7. The march continues for Michael Call in the 89. Launches this thing up toward the fence. I don't know if I'd get up that high in turn 3, but
It's
he just
working.
drives
They're
around
coming down pit
Robinson.
road.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why.
and that's gonna give him basically all those positions. Forget from the lead takes basically the entire top 10 down pit road here, just past the halfway mark.
We were talking about it before. It's going to be between 18 to 20 laps on the strategy. There's going to be one more green flag pit stop for these drivers. Now trying to split it up into thirds for these remaining laps. Alex Forget, the right sides go up, and a caution's out. This is going to change everything.
Oh, man. Kevin Orlando Jr. sideways on the back straightaway when half the field was on pit road. Huge implications here. Gonna screw over a lot of drivers in the field.
What happened to the 27 that put him in this situation? Is, I believe, the 14 of Bennett. It's Michael Bennett in the yellow and blue Ford just behind him. The cart hit the wall.
Oh,
that was Travis
yeah,
Gilbert.
Travis. Yeah.
The 8 car,
Oh.
I'm not sure what happened there to the 8 machine.
Oh, evasive maneuvers there for Joya and for Caleb Gilbert. Take a look here what happened to Richardson. I think he just missed it. And put
he got
it,
contact
he
with the
actually got
39.
tagged. Yeah, Gilbert, or not Gilbert, sorry, Grant Turner got a piece of him.
So one more time on board with the driver to the 39 machine, Grant Turner. Slid up into him a little bit.
Just a little bit. That 8, though, was also coming down from the line he ran through the middle of the corner. Just kind of met in the middle a little bit. So this is half of what brought out the yellow. The other half, of course, Kevin Orlando Jr. going around after getting clipped with Travis Gilbert hitting the wall. But, yeah. Multi-part incident here. Affects both Richardson and Orlando. And about half the field, including most of the current running top 10, had just come down pit road before that caution, which I believe is just going to stick all of them at the tail end of this field. Although they didn't lose a lap, so the leaders will pit. They won't be losing any track position.
It's time by at lap 44. It still puts these drivers short with the 20-lap stint on fuel. Venture to say those guys that had just come down pit road are going to stay out. Race recap on the top of your screen. 6 cautions, 6 lead changes. That kind of correlates with each other. It's been the only way to really get around one another, is pulling some strategy for track position. As you see the 22, your stage winner, finding his pit stall. The 9 of Jeremy Burns, who's had damage most of this night. He's also getting some service. Down and away right sides only, it looks like. So Gilbert going to maintain this top of the other split. And it'll be Jacob Sirkovich at the tail end of this top 10. Alex Forget leading the other side of it. John Fike, Trevor Keith, Dakota Floyd. These drivers said it all poured down pit road for green flag pit stops. And thankfully for them, this 2.5 mile oval prevents them from going a lap down. They will hold on to their lead lap and now to the top 10. Don't go anywhere. More coverage will continue of the Chapman Cup Series. You are watching it live. The Museum of American Armor at Pocono. More after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back to our coverage from Pocono Raceway, where Alex Forget and John Fike go side by side into turn one. There's some 3 wide in the background with Likens in the middle. Almost 4 wide as they went into turn one. Outside the top 10, it is chaos. Drivers dancing all over this racetrack. The 14 of Bennett down to the bottom. But I think it's a perfect opportunity here. If you know where those volume knobs are, let's see if we can get a little bit of a green flag run in as you see the 39 and the 7. Let's go on board with Joe Joya and start it. Let's get loud here on V-Speed. And that was getting loud here on V-Speed. Trevor Keith took over the lead. And if you were watching or paying any attention to that chaos that we had going on, it was the 19 of the 65. Fike really used up the 19 of Alex Forget there through the tunnel turn. It ends up backfiring on him going into 3. Trevor Keith took full advantage of it.
Tell you what, it has been a fascinating battle to watch. Not too often when we crank it up here on V-Speed that we see the physicality come out. Normally we're just listening to the sounds of these engines roar. It's not too often you also hear the sheet metal getting all banged up and beat around. Right now, Trevor Keith, though, got the lead with 30 laps to go. John Fike, Justice Murphy run second and third. They're starting to get some separation here from Dakota Floyd. You look to the rest of this top 10, and you're like, all right, well, Michael Call and Travis Gilbert run 6-7. Both of those guys have also led some laps here today. You see them trying to get up into that mix as well, but this field very, very shuffled from the litany of cautions and the multiple strategies. And, Erhardt's around right off the nose of Dylan Picklesheimer. Huge wreck off of turn 1. Oh, it's a parking lot. Forget about it. Call the tow truck. You're going to need about 15 of them.
41 goes around. He had some damage. He was a little bit off the pace, but somebody helped finish that car off.
I think that might be a bit of an understatement. I think there was about 12, 13 cars who all did the job there. Take a look one more time here. This is Trevor Erhardt in the middle. Guys getting down right where Picklesheimer is coming up. They go around, Sirkovich in there, Bennett, Gilbert. Grant Turner, Diaz, Alves, Schaefer. And that's just who we can see from here. There was a few more. Take a look here with Jeremy Burns. He gets caught up right in the middle of this, although I think he's able to scoot through outside of this contact with Bennett. Oh my goodness. Joya involved as well. I mean, just completely unravels.
And Orlando down there on the bottom. Caleb Gilbert, Alex Forget, who led some laps, involved in this. About 12, 13 different drivers that got a piece of this action. Contact there between the 35 and the 41, the 9 and the 14. Brings out another caution here tonight. 7 of them with 8 lead changes. Travis Gilbert getting stage number 1. We're starting to approach that spot where we've been talking about the strategies, Alex. We've been trying to report, maybe exaggerate that situation, but it's starting to dwindle away. If we get down to 20 to go, everybody's going to pour down pit road, and that might be the last time tonight.
Yeah, that really is the long and short of it, is that we'll have a lot of takers here who are going to try to maximize their opportunity for this window. You can probably get most of the way to the finish. If this thing is yellow almost the entire rest of the way, you could maybe have a fighting chance of trying to stretch this thing to the end. I don't think it's likely, though. But a lot of these cars just trying to give themselves as much of a runway as possible. So if they do need to come down pit road, it's only for a splash, and then they can get back out on the racetrack.
Well, and for those of you that see the fog out here on this racetrack, that might not be fog. It might just be tire smoke from how many times we've had a caution here tonight.
Especially that last one. You know, we've had a lot of incidents that have been, 1, 2, 3 cars. That one, I think, could have matched all of the wrecked cars from the previous cautions combined. That was a huge one coming off of turn 1. But Trevor Keith, he's still got the lead there, Bradley, and I think this is starting to work out pretty nicely for the driver of the 15. He's been a big mover today and is sitting exactly where you want to be with 25 laps to go.
Yeah, I know that this is where everybody wants to be at some point in this race, especially on that final lap. But based off of what we've seen so far, nothing is secure. And if you are the 15 car, you're going to do everything within your power to keep this car up here. We're actually going to bring down this lightning fast motorsports driver of Trevor Keith. Bring him into the booth. It's Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon. You got a copy, Trevor Keith?
I have a copy.
Well, we would usually say the lead's where you want to be, but it seems like it doesn't matter where you are on this racetrack. Nobody's safe.
Yeah, man, I don't know. We're trying to play this the smart way. Give me 1 second here. Had to tell him where I was going. But, yeah, we're in spot. We just got to finish it out. We've had a bad problem finishing out races lately, so we're focused and ready to win this thing.
25th spot up to first. You probably feel like you passed 100 cars here tonight. But let's go back to tire strategy. All of that stuff is dwindling away here, Trevor. And you guys kind of on the last of the Mohicans here on that tire call. Is it going to matter when we get to 20 to go if we have another caution?
Fuel's going to matter. Can't really make it. Don't think the guys at pit can make it either. So just try to pit in our window for fuel. You're going to have to get fuel at least once here. So got to make the right decision. I've been known to make the wrong ones at time to time. But right now we got to focus on keeping the lead. And then when the strategy flies, the strategy flies. We'll see where we're at.
Well, outside of that, Trevor, we got you up in the broadcast booth. Whatever happens, happens. Go ahead and shout out anybody you want to.
We'll shout out KSX Racing Graphics and KSX Pit Barrels. I don't think anybody's hit them yet. Maybe we get one. Shout out all my teammates and you guys as well. You guys do a great job up here. All the league sponsors. Yeah.
Good luck, Trevor.
Thank you.
Well, I don't really know. I think he was running out of ideas as well. I mean, if you're sitting up here in the front, it's just one of those, hope the guy next to you doesn't take you out. I think right now for this race, it's guys just sending it into a corner. I've seen a lot of darts without feathers. It's unfortunate because these guys have the talent to get around this place, absolutely do. And I think it goes back to the beginning of this race where we had all those cautions starting this race off. But to see if it continues on. The aggression, the intensity has been high here today and a little bit above our average for our caution count as we go back green on lap 56.
Trevor Keith, big move, trying to hold on to the lead here, holding off Justice Murphy and John Fike there just behind him. Keith's going to have the lead here in turn one. Murphy trying to take away second. Slides up in front of John Fike. Murphy up the P2. Here comes Matt Robinson taking a peek to the inside as the fog continues to settle here at Pocono. Visibility starting to drop a little bit here in the later stages of this race.
Looking in the background here, you got the 22 getting around the fourth position. He's back on offense. Dakota Floyd also on the move. 4 wide into 3 rather. 3 wide, breaks it down. The 11 almost touches the wall. They'll stay 3 wide down the front stretch. Car down by the pit barrels. I thought Trevor Erhardt was going to hit him.
Almost had our first KSX pit barrel moment. Not to be tonight, but a close call from that angle at least. Michael Call battling with Trevor Erhardt. Call's going to take that spot. More cars slicing and dicing up at the front. John Fike, Justice Murphy going at it for second. Here comes Travis Gilbert into the mix as well. All of this starting to give Trevor Keith a little bit of separation. Boy, look at how tight it is off of 2 between the 12 and the 65. What a night for John Fike with the way this race started for him.
What a night for a lot of these guys up here in this top spot. Trevor Keith was also involved in some shenanigans mid-race where he had kind of dove to the inside and put some guys in a situation. He got spun around. 15 car, though, is pulled away half a second from the 65. And Travis Gilbert into turn 1, trying to take back the lead. Your stage winner on board with him.
He's trying to have the perfect race weekend here. Win the pole, win the stage, win the race. He's done 2 of the 3, just trying to find his way past Fike and Trevor Keith here. About a half second from that lead with just over 20 to go. Though he lost out the Fike big time there in turn 2. Tell you what, actually, not even to be discrediting what Fike did there. I think one of the places that the 15 has been the best in clean air tonight has been turn 2. Trevor Keith, since that restart, every time he hits turn 2, he hits it with such aggression that he really opens up that gap a little bit. He does not seem to have the pace through turn 3 or turn 1, but turn 2 is where he's been getting a lot of that back. So you see Fike using that draft, reeling them in down the straightaway. Trevor Keith going to wheel this thing around. Here comes Fike, though. He got a big run off of 1.
Not going to be as good of an entry into turn 2. A block down the back straightaway from the 15. I don't think he's going to enjoy this one. Fike going to try to take over the spot. They're going to be tight coming off of the tunnel turn. Side by side going into 3, but this allows Travis Gilbert to get back to it.
And Fike to the point. Number 65 with John Fike from spinning on lap 1, turn 1, to taking the lead with 21 laps to go here at Pocono. It's definitely not a done deal yet, though, because here comes Trevor Keith and Travis Gilbert right behind him. Contact between the front 2 cars and the 1.
Now it even begs the question even more. Do you want to be the leader here at Pocono? With this draft and the way these cars are pulling back up to one another, I don't think I want to be the guy up front. Again, this is the super speedway aspect of this racetrack as we see the pass for second. Gilbert almost into the side of Trevor Keith. Travis Gilbert holds on to it down there. He'll stay to the door into 3. And in the background, Dakota Floyd and Matt Robinson side by side. Robinson can't complete that pass. Nobody has hit the wall, and I say that. There's the 14 of Bennett getting a piece of it.
And I don't even think he was the only one. I think he just got the most of it, of the people coming off the corner there. Or actually, I think that may have been the 12 with Justice Murphy who got a piece of it. Murphy back down the 9th now, to fall to 10th as well, as Likens is going to take a peek to the outside. Not going to be enough there off of 1. Got a good run, though, right through the back bumper. Going to give him a tap. This is that battle for 9th as it's unfolding on the racetrack. I'm telling you what, keeping an eye on the intervals here, Bradley. Travis Gilbert is real close to making a move here on Fike in 3. And then it ballooned way back up. He got a run down the short chute and then just completely lost the momentum in 3. Fike drove it in deep. On board here, this is Dakota Floyd. Battle for 4th, trying to take it away from Robinson.
Looks like got around him there on the exit of 3. He'd been working on Floyd for quite a few laps. He finally does complete that pass. You can hear him downshifting into turn 1. Michael Call on his highline approach. He's been making it work really well out of the exit of 1. Here he goes again for another position.
Oh, around the outside. This is a good place to be here going into 2. It won't shunt the run. He'll get around Floyd. And now he'll move up to P5. The 89's had a really strong race car tonight. About a 10th quicker than the leaders that last time by. Let's see if he's able to do anything with it. Robinson really starting to reel in this group, though. The 11 turning on the jets late.
Fastest car on the racetrack to Matt Robinson. Last time by. He does it again this time around.
53.321, fastest car in the top 10. Opening that gap up from Call just a hair. He's gotten to the back bumper of Trevor Keith in timely fashion. You see there's Al Likens still working on the back bumper of the 12. Another shove down the back straightaway.
Back off his entry into the tunnel turn.
Well, Murphy got down on the apron. He was really digging to try to get under the 66 Lins.
Down pit road for Fike.
And he's not the only one. Trevor Keith going to pit as well. Cars running 1st and 3rd. Down pit road, which means Travis Gilbert's got the lead. Robinson and Call will jump into the podium positions here with 17 to go. a big pit stop here for Fike and for Trevor Keith, because this is going to be the last time they'll need to stop down pit road.
Fike missed the box just a little bit there. Could affect his chances at winning this race. You got to be perfect into those boxes. Seen so many races lost off of just a extra 10th down pit road.
Sometimes that's all it takes. And here comes Travis Gilbert. He was not going to let them undercut him. 22 down pit road. Robinson now to the lead here with Michael Call a quarter second off his back bumper. And, you know, we were listening to that point that Trevor Keith made before that restart. Didn't think anyone was going to be able to make it on fuel. There are cars who can get closer on fuel, but I don't know if anyone can make it. I'm inclined to agree with Trevor Keith, especially with how many laps we've been ticking away green. And the moment you take the lead here, the more fuel you're going to have to burn. You don't have the draft as a luxury. So leading this race right now, both a blessing and a curse.
Watch Gilbert. Looks like maybe a 2-tire stop there for the 22. And we're going to bring a bunch of cars down pit road this time. 12 of Murphy slides into the grass.
Take one more look at it here. Got maybe a piece of the grass went way in there, bounced off the wall, and it's got a little out of sorts, trying to make up that time on pit entry. Al Likens, now your race leader. He's really the only car in the top 15 or so before the pit cycle who's yet to make his stop. But he will be getting some laps led here. Turner up to second. There you see the gap between Travis Gilbert and John Fike, two of the cars who pit at the start of this cycle. And now here comes Likens.
24 of Nick Alves also going to follow him in. This will hand the lead over to Grant Turner in the number 39. As he goes into turn 1. Turner with a 0.3 of a second lead. In this race, I mean, I'm a little bit discombobulated as Turner's going to get tight. So does the 55. He hits the wall. But he's still going to gain some momentum here. All over the back bumper of the 39. Pass for the lead right now. As Likens finishes his service, so does Alves. It seems like a lot of drivers electing 2 tires at the end of this.
Yeah, certainly. But there is quite a lot of race left here. 14 laps at a 2.5-mile oval. Better part of 25 miles still to work through. Actually, even more than that, more than 35.
My question, Alex, is are they getting enough fuel in these cars by taking only 2 tires? Is that enough time to fill these things up to make a full fuel run all the way to the end? I know it's under 20 to go, but when you take that gamble on tires, sometimes to save that, you have to take less fuel to justify a 2-tire pit stop. And you know, still, some of these guys came in with 20 to go. Did they put enough in?
If this thing stays green to the end, I'm inclined to believe that they should be fine. However, if there is a late caution where we need, you know, a green-white checkered, a little bit of overtime, then I think there's going to be a lot of drivers who are in really deep water. It'd be really interesting to see who had enough fuel, who doesn't. But if we stay green, I think most of them should be okay unless they really undersold the amount of fuel in here. You see some of these cars, anyone in this top 6, I believe, cannot make it on fuel. The first car who can, I believe, actually is Rob Rader, who actually, I think, is actually pinning right now. Apologies. The Travis Gilbert, John Fike, Carter Lentz, Kevin Orlando, actually, that lead group.
Rader staying out for as long as he could, hoping for a caution. It has not been a good day for the champion the 4th time, and it's not been a good day for your points leader coming into tonight. The 9 of Jeremy Burns is outside of this top 10 for most of the day. He's cycled back here in 12th, trying to get around Al Likens, the 13 car. Almost scraped the wall. I think he did get a piece of it there.
I think he did. I think Likens clipped it there off of one. Now Likens has picked up a couple laps led here through this pit cycle, is able to stay out long enough to get one of them. Having a decent day right now just outside the top 10. When those leaders cycle through, he will be at the tail end of the top 10. Just a matter of when that happens. Richie Thorpe, Forget, and Caleb Gilbert can probably stretch it about another 5 laps or so, but they definitely can't make it another 11. Right now, I think at this point, your mind's been made up. The strategy play has already been called. You just have to run the cell dry and pray that a yellow falls if you're one of those top 4 cars. Meanwhile, if you're 5th on back, everyone's hoping this thing stays green to the end because the strategy's favoring them here compared to the race leaders.
This would be the race lead. John Fike, again, impressive race for him. The 65 car getting around the tricky triangle. I think without the 22 finding that strategy and putting himself in a good scenario with the way the cautions fell, the 65 and his recovery, he could have won this race here tonight. He's still chasing down, though. Last time by, 2/10 faster. This time around, almost identical lap times, a 53.418. John Fike put up a 53.423. It is tight here for the top spot.
Yeah, Fike sitting about 3-ish car lengths or so back behind Travis Gilbert. That gap more or less what it's been since they came down pit road and have cycled back onto the racetrack. One thing that I'm really intrigued by, Kevin Orlando Jr., that last time by a 53.343, a 10th faster than both of those guys, and he's only 2 positions behind him. Not a whole lot of time left here, but there is Caleb Gilbert down pit road, and now there's only 3 cars yet to make their stop.
With Caleb Gilbert coming down pit road, that almost confirms it here. It was about 26 laps that they would have had to go on fuel. And some of these drivers came back down pit road. They topped off several times. They were babying it around this racetrack. But I don't think it's enough. As you said there, I don't think that Justin Ritchie and Grant Thorpe can make it all the way to the end. But the 55 is going to run another time by here. Grant Thorpe all the way back in the 2nd position. 12 seconds away from the top spot. He's going to continue to stay out. Alex Forget coming down pit road. This almost confirms it for Justin Ritchie. I would be majorly surprised if he can make it these next 8 laps.
Yeah, I don't believe he can. I think at this point he is just fully committed and hoping for something to fall his way here. He had been kind of on top of the strategy a good bit of this race, just when he needed it to fall his way one more time. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Him and Grant Thorpe still 16 seconds ahead of the leaders, but, you know, about a 40-second lane time here on pit lane is just not going to be enough to hold on to that lead. Now, yeah, down pit lane, Justin Ritchie. Got to imagine Grant Thorpe not too far behind him as well here.
Thorpe's going to go one more lap.
He's gonna stay out a little bit longer. Trying to remember the last time Grant Thorpe was down pit road. It was back in the mid-50s as far as laps are concerned. So he is getting to the end of that window. Yeah, lap 54 would be a superhuman effort and defying the laws of physics to make it to the end of this thing on that fuel tank. So the battle's going to be Travis Gilbert, John Fike, Carter Linz has cycled up into what will be that 3rd spot here whenever Thorpe does pit. Then Orlando and Picklesider, your top 5. That last pit cycle, shuffling up the order just a little bit.
About a 1.5 seconds separating what will be the lead. When Grant Thorpe comes down.
Oh, we got wreck and turn 2.
Caution.
Al Likens around.
Can Thorpe make it back around? He's down pit road.
Oh, my goodness. Justin Ritchie and Al Likens get together in turn 2, just as Grant Thorpe was hitting pit lane. Unbelievable.
This is going to hurt Thorpe bad.
Yeah, if he was just even a 1,000 feet less on the racetrack, or 1,000 feet shorter, he would have been able to stay out, and he would have been able to pit under the green, and he would have been in good shape. Man, just missed it there from Grant Thorpe. We'll take a look at the replay. Al Likens, Justin Ritchie, I believe, get together here. You see Ritchie slides up in front of Likens. Or sorry, that's Burns. Oh, wow, what happened to the 55? Just completely got out of the gas here in the 2. Collects Al Likens there with it. Man. Now this is going to take what was going to be a pretty decent advantage for Travis Gilbert. He was up about a second over Fike. And now it's going to come down to a short couple lap restart, which honestly feels fitting with the way this race has gone. Oh, big swing. Try to lead everyone down pit road. No one bit, though. A couple of cars in the back are going to take it, but Travis Gilbert, man, he almost got a couple of them, I think.
Going to get really interesting here for the tail end as you see the 41 of Trevor Erhardt go by. Lucky pass position for that machine. And Travis Gilbert has the entire field back up to his rear bumper for this restart. We're not going to break the focus of these guys. We're just going to take a quick commercial break. You are watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. Museum of American Armor 200 at Pocono. 5 to go, a little bit less than that when we come back. It'll be a natural green-white checkered here on V-Speed.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs, Tennessee.
Jonathan Parker, he locked it up in the Stage 1. Jonathan Parker, our season 65 champion Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams. Green flag back underway with 4 laps to go. Now 3 as they cross the line. You see Trevor Erhardt drop down. He came back down pit road, and it's almost a natural green-white checkered for the tail end here at Pocono in week 16.
Travis Gilbert, John Fike, Kevin Orlando going to slide up the third around Carter Lynn, side by side for fifth. Everyone off the wall there. Man, about 3-4 cars all hammered the wall off of one. Look at how congested things are getting from fourth on back. Spike got a run off of 2. Does he do anything with it here in turn 3?
He's got the advantage.
Oh, he thought about it, but I don't think
though.
he's going to draft. Going to slide back in. Travis Gilbert, I'm surprised he doesn't break the draft here down the front straightaway. Going to let Fike get all that speed that he lost off of 3. 2 to go.
On board with John Fike. This is a real opportunity for him. He can lock himself into the round of 16. We only have 9 races left. Does he have anything for him? But Kevin Orlando, and what might be his best finish of the season, he's got a top 3.
And he might be looking for more. He's only a couple tenths off of Fike. With the way this day has started for the 65 of John Fike, what an incredible finish it would be if he finds a way past the pole sitter. But Travis Gilbert, to his credit, he is going for the perfect race weekend, or Tuesday, I suppose. Won the pole, won the stage, and now with the white flag, he's only 1 lap away from taking this thing home.
One more time around, presented by Erhardt.
Oh,
Holmes and
around.
Fike loses it. He locks it up into 1 and loses 6 spots.
Oh, man, brutal for the 65, and he's still getting bounced around.
He's
wrecking with Picklesheimer. Oh, and Michael Call in it, too.
It's over.
Unbelievable.
The 65. And it's over for Travis Gilbert. He's got 1 more set of corners, and no one's within reach. Half a second back to Kevin Orlando. And I think some of these guys agree. They're just happy it's over. Coming down the front stretch, checkered flag in the air, and Travis Gilbert is going to win at Pocono.
The perfect weekend, or perfect day here for Travis Gilbert. Pole sitter, stage win, race win. Unbelievable stuff from him. Kevin Orlando Jr., the runner-up finish. Carter Lynn's going to hold on to 3rd. And I tell you what, don't look now, but Jeremy Burns bounced back to a top 5 finish. How in the world?
This guy was outside the top 10 90% of this race. Finds his way back to the top 5.
Yeah, he was outside the top 10 for most of it. He was outside the top 15 for at least half of it.
Yeah, I feel bad here for this guy.
Yeah, this went from great to bad to nightmare for the 65. But take a look at that. I mean, he gets tangled up here with Picklesheimer and Call. 2 guys who are also having a phenomenal race tonight.
I think he just tried to send it in there to catch up to Gilbert.
Yeah, and he lost a ton of speed. He was just trying to hold on to it here. And we'll take one more look at it. You see he's about 3-4 car lengths back, going to try to send it in, make something happen. Yeah, just overcooked it. Good save to at least keep it off the wall, but lost so much speed.
This is where it gets really bad, yeah.
Yeah, Picklesheimer to the outside. And then Fike gets back at him. They both go around, collect call. Man. Little Polish victory lap here for Travis Gilbert. I'll tell you what, with the events of that last lap, I have a feeling there's going to be some conversations that are going to be had on pit road after this one.
Absolutely will be, and we're getting closer and closer to playoff time for these drivers. You're seeing the aggression and intensity pick up every single week. Here tonight with the caution count, you can see the product of all of that. Hey, McDonald shouting out there to Travis Gilbert, getting his 3rd win of the season. And a trifecta. Perfect weekend for him. Wait, perfect week as we go.
I keep saying that
Wednesday
too.
night. Yeah.
Mentally, I want to say weekend
This
because
is
that's
Cup
how it
Series
should
racing.
work. But
yeah,
it's a Tuesday, so we're all over the place. But tell you what, sounds like we might be able to pull Travis Gilbert in here for a little Polish victory lap interview if you want.
I believe we will. And I think, Alex, you've caught up with our winner. 3rd time this season for Travis Gilbert.
Hey there, Travis, you got a copy?
I do. How's it going, Alex? How's it going, Bradley?
I tell you what, this was a big day for you. Put it on pole, won the stage, and when it mattered most, you found your way back to the front, picking up win number 3. Travis, talk to us a little bit about just your race as a whole tonight. It seemed like you were wicked fast, and then just through the middle of the race, we just kind of lost track of you a little bit. But you found your way back when it mattered.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Win number 3, my buddy Joe Wells. He's a big Dale fan, so we'll put the number 3 out the window and salute Dale Sr., one of the greatest to ever put on a helmet. So having 3 wins in RR in a season, doing it for Dale and Joe and this Racing for Freedom team, yeah, what a trifecta. I mean, Pocono is notoriously a very hard track to pass. If you go back to last year's race, I qualified 22nd and got myself up here and battled with Tay and Rob throughout the race, and we ended up losing to Grant and Jeremy there on field mileage. So really was really surprised and happy to see that we put the 22 Vet the Track Ford Dark Horse Mustang for Racing for Freedom on the pole, because track positions everything. So when we got out in clean air, I do not feel like there was anybody that could run with us other than our teammate of the 65, John Fike. There at the end of the race was kind of concerning. I was like, because I was on my 3 iteration of my left side tires there, so he was on his 2nd. So was kind of concerned that my left sides were going to give up on me, kind of like they did at Michigan when I crossed over the seam and lost to Jeremy. But then that caution came out, and John and I worked together. I told him if he stayed on the high side, we could work together and maybe finish 1-2. And I knew he had a really fast race car, so if he was going to get a run on me, I was going to concede and let him go, because I would much rather see 2 Racing for Freedom cars finish 1-2 than for us to both be battling and give a big old draft to somebody from behind and let them go in there and take us 3 wide. And unfortunately, on the last lap there, John getting off into turn 1, I think he drove it in a little too hard and downshifted in a wheeled hop. I had it happen to me in Monday's league, so I understand. It sucks. These new cars with these new updates, they're hard to drive, and I mean, like you said, I got stuck back there in traffic, and it was, it didn't matter if I was really fast out front. You get back in traffic, and it's so hard to pass. So through the pit cycles, and I was concerned about staying out there. I was talking to the team, and track position just means everything at this point. So a good restart, track position, working with John Fike, and a really badass fast Vet the Track Ford Mustang over here at the 22 Racing for Freedom team, and same with John Fike. So really proud of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic result for you, and I mean the team showed a ton of pace here tonight, and we're getting near to that playoff time, Travis. And putting together a third win, really kind of cementing yourself, I would say, as one of the contenders here through the opening weeks to the season. You and Jeremy Burns very much kind of a step ahead of the field at the moment, both points and victories wise. What do you, after a win like this, what do you take away from this, knowing that you're already locked into the playoffs, but there's still a lot of time to continue to improve before you hit that point?
I'll tell you what, Alex, what I take away from it is the score should be 5-4. It's kind of bitter giving up one at my hometown in Michigan and then knowing Jeremy's so good on road courses. So I really, really like the revenge of getting this one and earning it on pace and strategy and everything. So really good. I mean, Jeremy's super solid everywhere we go. Rob's gonna be there. He's 4-time for a reason. You got people like Michael Call is coming on strong. My teammate John Fike, Kyle Diaz is strong. You got people that I accidentally got into last week and run their races with the 41 of Trevor Erhardt and the 14 of Michael Bennett. Now, I mean, I made apologies to him over the radio and Discord, but here in public, like Michael said, I've already got myself locked in, and I cost him some positions, so I felt horrible for that, and that also made me race a little, a little different in the pack. I sometimes I could seed it instead of racing really hard like I normally would. So just knowing that there's other people that are really fighting for that playoff spot, and I do have some wins. And last year I think there was this theme. This theme with me was, did he really make friends along the way? So this year I probably wouldn't admit to anybody I let some of that stuff get to me or whatever. However, I have some wise people in my corner with Terry and Tweet Friend, and they really have helped mature me in some ways in life. And I have my daughter here, so it's really great to win with her here. So we did it for Tora, for Dale, for Joe, for 0 Point Racing, Ray Lane, Tay McDonald. We got to meet him out at Elko Speedway, Brayton Laister. Like, everything is just really gelling really well in my life, and I'm just trying to be, enjoying it, and I really appreciate all this. Chapman Environmental Services, Erhardt Homes, Love Where You Live, sponsoring Coastal Financial, like Todd and Hayden James. Hayden James is my owner over on Monday, and his dad. And then we got Terry Hudgens. We miss you, Devin. So hopefully your dad lets you know that we're thinking about you, and we can't wait to get you back on this Racing for Freedom team. Then I have my mom, my nephews, Branson, Tristan, Lucas, my niece, Amelia. My sister's birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday, sis. So man, it's great. I'm loving life right now. Thank you, Alex, for the interview, and I appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you having you up here, Travis. Congrats on the win tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with the Racing for Freedom guys before we take up too much more of your time here.
No, I think I'm the one that took up your guys' time. I just want to do justice. Thank you guys for everything you do for V Speed and putting on a great show with Racing Revolution. Love going back and watching it, and it's a great promotion. It's I can't wait to every week to watch back, win or lose. You guys do such a great job. So thank you guys for supporting Racing Revolution and everything that you guys do for us. It's a great platform.
Appreciate it, Travis. Congrats on the win. That is race winner, Travis Gilbert, parking that thing on the start-finish line through a hard-fought victory here tonight from Pocono.
Don't go anywhere. We have more post-race coverage and those final race results coming up for the Chapman Cup Series. We have concluded our 80 laps, our 180 miles, 200 miles. There you go. Museum of American Armor. Kind of lost track of where I was there for a moment. We're in the Pocono Mountains here right now. We'll be right back here on V-Speed in just a moment.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And My goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Back here live from Pocono Raceway. And if you're just joining us, Travis Gilbert had a perfect race day with the pole award. Led the most laps. I think he got it all. Stage win. The 22 is in victory lane here tonight. Put it up there. 22 laps led. Well, that's fitting.
Very
fitting. Anybody
fitting.
else came close to that? We had several lead changes here tonight with the 22 getting that stage win, 16 lead changes, 8 cautions. Rough one here tonight at Pocono, and a lot of those yellows happening after that midway point. Changed the strategy, cycled these guys around, and those final results up on your screen. The only car that was in the top 5 here tonight, actually Dakota Floyd, he's the other one there. Then it's Jeremy Burns, who was outside of this top 10 for most of this race, recovering back to a top 5. But Carter Lenz and Kevin Orlando Jr. just behind there on Travis Gilbert. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. It's Nick Alves in 6th position with Grant Turner in 7th, Justin Ritchie 8th, Tyler Harrison 9th, and Caleb Gilbert getting a top 10 with what was left of that machine on that final lap. And it looks like my co-commentator had a connection issue here. Alex Gagnon's back now, and just a slight interruption there. And looks like we got you back in here now. So take it away for the top 20.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. Discord chose the perfect time to try to reset itself. Rock Raider going to finish 11th here tonight. Had that pretty heavy lick early on, rebounded to a pretty respectable result here, finishing just ahead of Alex Forget. Michael Bennett will finish 13th here tonight. Matt Robinson got tangled up on that final lap. He'll finish 14th, just ahead of Justice Murphy in the 15th position. Trevor Keith led a good bit of laps here tonight, but he'll finish 16th, just ahead of Brandon Richardson. And then the incident on the back straightaway on the last lap here. John Fike and Michael Call, both from the top 5 down to 18th and 19th. That also included Picklesheimer who I think we'll get to in a little bit here, and then Grant Thorpe rounding out your top 20 here in the 20th position.
Yeah, and so throw out Grant Thorpe. He came down pit road exactly at the moment that caution fell for the tail end of this race to set up that 3-lap to go restart. And Grant Thorpe got trapped at the tail end of this field, never could get back up there. He was leading with about 5 laps to go. Rest of those results with Dylan Picklesheimer, Trevor Erhardt 22nd. Al Likens will finish 23rd. A lot of cars that had up and down days. You saw Christopher Schaefer into the outside wall. He lost it there out of turn 1. Damaged car Kyle Diaz got into the back of Michael Reed, who had a connection issue. He finishes back in 29th. They have Joe Joya, Jacob Sirkovich, 26th, 27th. Parker Johnson, early exit for him, 56 laps down. Daniel Holloway, also an early exit for him, 70 laps down. And he will round out the tail end of your field. So many drivers here tonight had a tough break, but I tell you what, for one of these guys that we're going to bring up for our top 3, he gained 9 positions. Second place finisher here tonight, Kevin Orlando Jr. Kevin, Chaos Orlando, do you have a copy?
I can hear you now.
Well, Tail Whip is the other one, I believe, and Courage the Cowardly Dog that I get to look at every time I talk to you. First question I got for you, did you get everything sorted out over there for the 87s? I never was able to get back to you on that.
Yeah, we're all sorted for that. Thank you for that help.
No problem. All right, so let's get to what happened here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. We were talking there just before the caution, or just during that caution, of where we thought maybe something else would happen to use one of those green-white checkers. And we had talked about maybe Dylan Picklesheimer and you getting together. It looked like you handled that pretty well. But then there was also the 65 there, a Fike in front of you, sending it into turn 1 on that white flag. Man, just so much chaos here tonight. How did you avoid all of it?
A lot of luck, mostly. And wasn't fast enough to be right next to Fike when he did that. So, again, kind of luck. With that late restart, I knew Fike was going to have to do something coming to the white flag there. It's unfortunate that the move resulted in him spinning because he was fast tonight. But, I was just waiting. I was like, he's going to make a move at some point, and that's going to slow the two of them down enough for me to have a shot. I'll take the position. It's unfortunate to get it that way, but, second place is still second place. Congratulations to Travis there. He made a great call staying out early in the race to get that track position on old tires. He never took tires again, and worked out for him. I would not have expected it to work, but he sure made it happen. So kudos to him on that.
Well, those left sides were definitely worn out. He did take right sides topping off with fuel, and I know we're still kind of learning this new tire model. How is it for you and your personal experience with the new car and the new telemetry, all the new stats and the things that they've put on the iRacing service?
It seems to wear quicker, but it seems to wear more predictably. That's one thing I noticed with the new model is you kind of feel the tire giving out instead of it just all of a sudden hitting a wall and turning off on you, which makes it a little bit easier to drive the car appropriately as the tires wear. It used to be if you got down to like 90% tire wear, it would all of a sudden hit a switch and it would feel like you had no tires left at all. But this, you could kind of feel it degrading a little bit easier. So personally, I like it. This has been a long time coming for iRacing to get this tire model working.
And speaking of personal, the Museum of American Armor is on that machine. They are the sponsor here tonight. I know you are heavily involved. You volunteer over there. I know we've got shout outs. I know that they're going to be the first one on your mind.
Oh, of course. That's they do great stuff over there, keeping history alive, mostly focused as naming the armor. We got tanks and vehicles and equipment. So a lot of that is, we use that to showcase what it was really involved, mostly with World War II, but we've been expanding into some newer stuff, Vietnam and whatnot, as, the veterans get older. We want to honor everyone that served. And I think it's a great opportunity, A, to honor them, and B, we do a lot of educational stuff with the kids and, talking to them. A lot of them are not getting the same type of education on military history that we did growing up going through school. So I'm glad that something like that exists in my community that gives back and really helps with that.
Finally, Kevin, you got some people backing you up. I know you have some teammates, some people that put you on this racetrack tonight, and you get this second place finish. Go ahead and shout them out as well.
Of course, couldn't do it without the team. We got Carter and Joe backing me up today. Unfortunate for Joe. I mean, he was right behind me, got involved in an earlier wreck, took him out of the race. But Carter, right there to the very end, we were communicating the whole time, trying to get the best result for both of us, figuring out how we were going to get around the guys in front of us. And so big thanks to them. And of course, thanks to you guys for another awesome broadcast every week, and the rest of our league sponsors from Chapman and I am having a blank.
I got
right
the
now.
list for
I
you.
feel like an idiot. Chapman, Enginuity, Buttkicker, and who's the last one? I keep forgetting. I feel bad.
So you got, name him one more time. I got a list for you.
We got Erhardt Homes. How could I
There
forget
you go.
them? Our white flag, our white flag guys.
All right, you got them all this time, and
I
you
remembered
also
one.
got Ultimate Exterior Lighting and All About Bugs that are secondary sponsors to this, and our primary sponsor of the race tonight, the Museum of American Armor. Again, Kevin Orlando, thank you for your time. We'll see you in
Thank
1
you.
week when we go super speedway racing in Georgia.
All right, thanks again. Have a good night.
That's Kevin Chaos Orlando in the number 27, second place for him. And that finally brings us to his teammate Carter Lenz in the number 66. And Carter Lenz, I know for you personally, this race was all but predictable. It was deep in the field at some points, the flips on the strategies, avoiding cautions, avoiding wrecks, and then you finally, at the tail end of this race, put on the perfect strategy. I mean, how many pit stops does it take to figure this race out?
It's at least 7. To be honest, the cautions, it just became a big jungle of a mess going on there where we knew who the leaders were for most part, and then all of a sudden half the field comes in, half the field doesn't. Some people are taking tires, some people aren't. It just became a big scattered mess the whole night, and it was just kind of hard to gauge what was going on, who to trust, who to follow on trying gauging the fuel runs there. And eventually at the end of the race there, me and Kevin were just like, no tires, we just got to go. Position is absolutely huge here, where, to be honest, having older tires is almost zero difference than having fresh ones. Literally all what it matters is trying to find that clean air. That's all what was needed to be in the front tonight, and we figured out how to make it work there.
Well, you talked about the tire strategies and this new tire model. We briefly talked there with Kevin Orlando about it as well. He says that it feels a little bit more predictable. How's it for you personally?
Oh, no, definitely. No, I agree with him. The car definitely feels a little bit more stable, where the previous tire model, if you lit up the tires, if you got loose, they were a million degrees and you try to get back on the gas and you can't. It feels like they're a little bit more forgiving now. And I feel like that's across almost the whole entire service with all the new tire models that have came in, where they will get hot, but you give them 3-4 corners, you give them a lap or two, they're going to settle back down and you're going to be fine. You might push a little bit harder or be a little bit tighter for a little bit, but eventually they will come back to you. And yeah, no, managing the tires tonight, just not overdriving corners. I nicked the wall a couple times. I won't lie there, but it's definitely more forgiving, and tire battles and tire wear are going to be a little bit different now, I feel.
And that update coming midway through the season here for Racing Revolution, season number 5, and it seems to have kind of shuffled up this field. Everybody's still trying to figure out the limitations of that, but you get a top 3 because of this situation and all these cautions and all the things that happen here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. Anybody you want to shout out there, Carter, while we have you in the booth?
Oh, well, first, I'm hoping I don't botch this like Kevin did. I heard it. All the sponsors, we're going to start with Chapman, Coastal Financial, Erhardt Homes, Enginuity Power Systems, Buttkicker, You guys, V Speed, every week is an amazing show. I know everyone that watches also says the same thing. Who is there? Anyone else I'm forgetting? I will feel bad.
Main sponsor tonight as well.
Oh yes. Where was the name? Museum of American Armor. There we are. Let's see. All the friends and family that are watching, I know there's a bunch out there. Hello to everyone. My girlfriend Sarah, I know she's been watching, being supportive all night and all season. But other than that, I think it's time for me to go to bed.
Alrighty, it's 10:47 here on the East Coast. Carter Lenz joining us up here in the broadcast booth. We appreciate your time. We look forward to see you in 7 more days when we go super speedway racing at Atlanta Echo Park. So taking these next gen cars with those aero packages, those new tires, and hopefully we see some more super speedway style racing there. Until then, man, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So there you go, 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that's going to conclude it for our post-race coverage. We've still got more racing left to be done. It's going to be so long from the tricky triangle, and now we go on to a racetrack that, well, it's had some reconfigurations. It's still wearing in, but next week it's Atlanta. I know it's called Echo Park, but I still call it Atlanta, and I know, Alex, we grew up on this racetrack. This place is ultimately improved overall. It puts up a pack-style race, but it's still got that little bit of the intermediate oval left in it.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now that the track is surfaced in just a little bit. Much like the old Atlanta, you still see those really big runs and the ability to make up a lot of track position in a short period of time. But now you blend that with the drafting style racing you get at the Daytona or Talladega. It's really come into its own as a unique challenge on the schedule. And it's a ton of fun when done well. It's also very difficult to do well just because of how tight the quarters are sometimes. So it can be a bit hit or miss, but I have a feeling with these guys, it's going to be a hit.
Keeping the banking to 28 degrees and keep the same narrow width on the entry and exits of these corners. It makes for a recipe of pack racing like you've never seen before. Week 17 from Atlanta, Echo Park, July 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you here on V-Speed as we will have every single race for the Chapman Cup Series. But for everybody here at V-Speed that helped put this together, Adam Baker, my co-commentator, Alex Gagnon, it's Bradley Cooper saying so long from Pocono. Until then, stay tracking, everybody.